А? Вам страшно? Как Тима? Сейчас попробую. А? Я тут просто отписываю, поэтому не как бы так. Просто отписываю. Сейчас попробую. А? Я тут просто отписываю. Сделаешь кофе или чай, мам? А, мам? Сделаешь кофейку? Вот. Вареник. Зайди на это, какое? Ну, на ссылку, которую я тебе скину. На ссылку. Спасибо, мам! Мне кажется, с сахаром был бы повкуснее. Да, было бы, наверное, прикольно.
Фотку только что. Ну, уже так, я бы хотела только.
Ну вот сиди и вот сейчас, ну и, ну, не знаю, посмотри там. Нет, кофе, наверное. Да. Все, ладно. Короче, потом принесешь, ладно, и все. Короче, потом принесешь, все. Так, ну история. Начнем. Я сейчас начнет игру. Всего еще прогресс продолжит. Так. Да, пофиг. Я уже проходил, так. Сока поиграем. Сложности. Канзас, 1910 год. Стой, малыш.
Don't I know you, sir?
Don't believe so. Не думаю. Я не был здесь уже много лет. Silas Greaves.
Silas Greaves? The bounty hunter?
Охотник.
Used to be.
Да, был когда-то.
What are you doing here in Abilene?
Абелине.
Just passing through.
Просто пришел мимо
Got a little business to take
большой
care of.
дельц.
Well, sir, it would be an honor if you would allow me to buy you a beer.
Hell, son, it would be my honor to drink it.
I'm Molly. Howdy.
I'm Dwight. That's Jack and Steve. Ben's behind the bar.
Бэм.
Oh, I bet you got some great stories.
A couple.
Да, есть несколько историй.
Any of
Хоть
them
одну
true?
правдивую.
Jack, be nice.
Будь повежливым.
A few.
Парочка.
What about your shootout with Henry Plummer's gang in
Бандей,
Bannock, Montana?
Штат Монтана.
Is that where you
Стали
started as a
ходить с
bounty hunter? That's what it says in this here dime novel.
Так сказано в этой книжке.
Don't believe everything you
Здесь
read
уж
in them
написано хорошо.
dime
В романах,
novels.
парень.
First man I hunted was back when I was
Когда
riding
еще
with Billy
работал
the
с Биллом
Kid.
Кидом.
You knew
Вы
Billy
знали
the
бы
Kid?
Кида?
Damn right. That scrawny son of a bitch had no fear. Wouldn't back down for nobody.
I heard he collected the 10 stars off
Всех
any crooked lawman who crossed him.
It was a war, boy. The Lincoln County War. And Billy promised his regulators would take the life of every bastard who helped bushwhack John Tunstall.
Kid had a big chip on his shoulder and a hair-trigger temper. Made him dangerous as hell.
Ну, погнали. Калькулятор в графстве Линкольн, потому что Боб Брайан участвовал в ней на другой стороне с бандой Джон Конни. Навык, приведенный, не позволяет одолеть легендарный босс жуки, вооруженного радионами гантлинг. Не поменяйте полезность, когда рядом враги, и это сделает вас легким мишенью.
It was about 30 years ago.
Да.
Billy was hiding out in an abandoned farm near Stinking Springs. I threw in with the kid because the man I had sworn vengeance on was riding with Billy's enemies. But before I tell you why I want that son of a bitch dead, let me tell you what happened that day. I was heading back to the hideout when suddenly I had this funny feeling.
Funny, ha-ha?
No, Steve. The other kind of funny.
You heard Pat. We need to stay here and keep an eye on the road.
That's not fair.
I knew those two morons would never let me through.
Shoot that
I had no choice.
Was it Pat Garrett's posse?
Oh, yeah. I heard the shots and I knew I had to move fast. Garrett and his army of deputies had surrounded the entire homestead. I decided to help Billy and the boys out of it. So that's just what I did.
Stay on it! Covering fire!
As the governor of New Mexico was paying for the kid's apprehension, Garrett was able to hire every gun hand in Lincoln County.
You're dead!
Garrett's men were running around like a bunch of chickens with their heads cut. Still, one of them reached the water tower. Not a bad idea. It would be a turkey shoot from up there. Luckily, these shooters Garrett hired weren't the sharpest tools in the shed. A lot of them were saddle tramps or sod busters or drunken drifters looking to make a few bucks. Then, I heard a friendly voice yelling at me from the window. Back door! We'll cover you! Truth be told, things weren't much better behind the house. I cut their numbers in half, but that just made the ones that were left twice as mad. They made up for their lack of skill with a seemingly endless supply of ammo. It was a bit of a slog, but I finally fought my way around the back of the house. And like that, I was inside, none the worse for wear. I passed Dirty Dave, and upstairs I found Billy and Charlie Beaudry.
Так. Сейчас мы получим винтовочку. Белый Кид.
Billy looked at me and said, "About time, amigo. Grab a gun and get to the window."
Wait, so you were friends with Billy the Kid?
Yeah, sort of. Anyway, we were surrounded by dozens of deputized shooters who wanted to do us harm. Garrett's men were dropping like flies, but they just kept on.
Where the hell Garrett get?
That's when Charlie got hit. They're catching us in a crossfire, shouted Billy. Get to the other side. I don't know how many of those cocksuckers I personally put down, but it was pretty clear, even to Billy, that maybe discretion was the better part of valor.
What's that mean?
It means that it was time to cut and run. They got a Gatlin, Billy shouted. Get the horses and bring them round back. I'll draw their attention. He directed that order at me.
Мне
And
сказали
I thought,
играть.
why the hell do I have to do it?
Those poor sons of bitches are done.
Many would have fled in my place. But I had that false sense of invincibility that many young men have. Like Jack here.
What are you saying, old man?
Jack, he's just joshing with you now.
Yeah, he better be.
Mr. Greaves, please continue.
Please, call me Silas, ma'am. Now, where was I?
You were heading for the barn.
Right. Making my way past a passel of fallen foes.
Sounds like Garrett hired a whole regiment of hired guns.
Yeah, and just when I thought I was done with them, more of these hapless bastards would pop up. Finally, I had the stables within my reach. After the fight, maybe we could treat ourselves to some fried
Сейчас я
chicken.
вхожу, и мне
And
тудух
that's when
на.
I met Sheriff Pat Garrett.
I read that you went toe-to-toe with him, sir.
1-1, сэр.
Backstabbing bastard with that tacked-on tin star.
Давай сразимся. Да, протирай свою звездочку, урод.
You challenged him to a showdown.
You read that in a dime novel?
It said he showed no fear as he took your measure with eyes like a rattlesnake.
На.
And that you killed him in a fair fight.
Is that what that Penny Dreadful said? No, boy. That ain't what I meant when I said I met Pat Garrett. So let me start again. I finally reached those damn stables.
Вылезаю в конюшню и...
And
Бам!
last thing I heard was Garrett's voice. That's not Billy.
And go on. How did it end?
And, boy, that was just the beginning.
Продолжим. Вот не знаю, со сколько это прошел.
So what happened?
Здесь
Did Garrett arrest you?
Yeah, after I came to, the bastard had clocked me with his Colt.
And the kid surrendered?
Кит сдался.
When he realized there was no getting out of there alive.
So they locked you up in Lincoln?
Indeed they did. Sentenced me to hang right along with the kid.
На пару с Кидом нас приговорились к смерти. Тем временем покинули ряды бандитов. Вы можете приезжать к вам, чтобы лучше спрятаться и избежать огня противника. Окей, как будто не знал. Погнали.
It's important to know that I was only riding with Billy so I could find the bastard I was after. He was with John Kinney's gang, and they were sworn enemies of Billy's regulators.
Why were you after him?
I owed that son of a bitch a bullet for what he had done to me and mine. Instead, all I got for myself was a goddamn death sentence. Luckily, it was right around then that I heard Billy make his move. He shot Jim Bell and a few other guards as he made his getaway. Later, they wrote that some lady friend planted a pistol for him in the privy. What the papers didn't say is that Billy helped me escape too.
Опа, ключики, погнали.
My first order of business was finding a firearm.
Здесь вроде ничего нету. Опа, вот ствол.
Luckily, I located Deputy Bob Ollinger's mean-ass shotgun.
Так, теперь мы с дробовиком.
I saw Billy through the window, and he yelled that I should take to the rooftops to make my escape. So I did.
Anybody see Billy?
На первый, второй.
Hell yeah. That scatter gun was like a double-barreled howitzer. It would blow a man clear off his feet. You hardly had to aim the damn thing. The kid's escape raised a huge ruckus. Guards were everywhere looking for him.
Так,
Can't let the kid get away.
так. Ой, не помню, какой мне нравился больше. Дальность минус отдачи. Костяной ручкой. Общий опыт. Мне вроде нравится костяная ручка. Так, костяная ручка. Вот с костяной ручкой. Вот она. И идем с золотой винтовку. Все, погнали. Зарядились. Погнали. Так, использовать. Побежали. Так, здесь сюда.
I had to jump from roof to roof like a damn alley cat. I followed the planks where I could, but some of that wood was slippery as hell. The whole town was up in arms. And suddenly, I was a fugitive.
How the hell did the kid escape? Garrett's gonna kick our ass! Can't have gotten far!
So that bastard you were after, what did he do?
He did me and my family a grievous harm. But I knew if I was ever going to find him, I would need to get my ever-loving ass out of there. I tried to be stealthy and sneak my way past.
This town doesn't have a moment's peace.
Так, пойдем сюда.
But hell, if they weren't all waiting for me. Apparently, some of them thought I was Billy.
He's in town somewhere!
See, me and the kid shared a certain similarity in build and color.
Опа, чё?
I was just glad I had Deputy Bob's mean-ass shotgun.
Куда стреляют-то, бля?
I don't get paid enough for this! Get your headstone!
There's children here.
So much lead was whizzing by my head, it was like everyone in Lincoln wanted to put me in the ground. I knew I needed to find a horse. Though I never did have a great fondness for those four-legged grass eaters. Smelly, sweaty, ungrateful beasts. We prize them too high.
Так, в этой больше нету. Да.
You're threatening the lives of innocent people.
Погнали.
Town's going to hell in a handbasket.
Патроны.
But where was the kid while you were busy getting shot at?
Gone. And that's when it occurred to me why Billy set me free.
There he is.
Так,
So I could be a hapless decoy and draw attention while he snuck out of town.
еще заносится.
I knew if I made it out of there in one piece, no one would put a price on my head.
Because everybody in Lincoln would be dead?
No, because they all thought I was Billy. And all that blame would fall on him. Meanwhile, Deputy Bob Ollinger was organizing a posse to put me down. He was already a mean son of a bitch, but he was doubly pissed that I stole his mean-ass shotgun.
Get away!
Да ну, серьезно.
I got this! Let him get away! You'll die for this, you hear me? Surrender yourself!
Finally, I found what I was looking for. The stables on the edge of town.
I guess Billy saved your ass, taking out Bob Ollinger the way he did.
Billy didn't kill Bob.
Well, sure he did. He dispatched him right after he shot Deputy Bell.
No, sir. Because Bob came right up behind me, angry as hell that Billy had lit out. Hello, Bob, I said. I think you better let me go. And he says, I don't think so, boy. Not with my shotgun.
И с моим дробовиком, сука, ну
So we
давай.
stood there in the middle of the street, eyeball to eyeball. He intended to kill me, and I knew I had no choice but to defend myself. I killed him in a fair fight. Everybody saw I had no damn choice. Well, Lincoln got a mite depopulated that day. Pat Garrett gunned down.
Так, ну,
So
еще одна
where'd you
прошла.
go after Lincoln?
Mexico. Until I realized nobody was looking for me. I ended up taking a job at the Rurales.
The Mexican Rurales?
I was hired to help them track down the cowboys.
Эпизод 2. Ковбоя.
The most vicious outlaw gang in Cochise County? Curly Bill Brocious? Johnny Ringo?
Led by old man Clanton himself.
They must have paid you a pretty penny to take them hombres on.
Not really. But truth be told, I had my own reasons for going after those boys.
Ну, погнали. Теперь за этими. Так, проверим просмотры. Смотрят ли нас люди. Вот. И отправимся дальше. Зрители один есть.
Bill Brocious? Johnny Ringo?
Вот, стоит выделенного яйца. Ой,
So was the
боже,
bastard you
понял.
were after now riding with the cowboys?
Roscoe Bob Bryant was his name.
Oh.
But no, this time it was a different bastard I was after. The aforementioned Mr. Ringo. And yes, he was working for old man Clanton.
Ну, вот костяной ручек. Погнали. Так, и винтовочка. Погнали.
I came upon them robbing a stagecoach, which wasn't surprising, being they were such murderous thieves and bastards. The bandits wore red scarves, so I knew they worked for the old man.
Over there!
Так,
I
главное
did
сейчас не
my best to
убирать.
help those poor passengers.
Вообще, так, я, бля, меня... Тихо.
Moments later, the attackers were dead, and I checked the stagecoach to see how many passengers were still breathing.
Ой, блядь.
None. It was then I wondered if the rocks weren't hiding more bandits. Was that all of them? Or did I just hit the rear guard? I quickly got my answer. They attacked from on high like Apaches often did. They would appear in great numbers from above and rain down lead on their hapless enemies' heads, making use of the high ground, whatever else they had. Yep, the Apaches always appeared out of nowhere, and there never seemed to be an end to them.
Hold on. Were you attacked by Apaches? What happened to the cowboys?
Did I say they were Apaches? I said Clanton's cowboys attacked me Apache style. I was in a pitched battle, but I was holding my own against an overwhelming enemy force. See, at the time, I was still pretty green and would often blunder into regrettable situations. But I just kept shooting at anything I could see up in those damn rocks. I didn't see Ringo, but I knew he was with the cowboys. He and Roscoe Bob had done me a dreadful wrong, and I was determined to have my revenge. But to get to Ringo, I knew I'd have to fight my way past these other assholes first. Unfortunately, I was running out of ammo. Another perfect example of my relative inexperience as a hunter of men. I immediately knew that a tactical retreat was called for, as my vengeful fury was much less impressive without the bullets to back it up.
Да ну нахуй.
Finally, they managed to corner me. Trapped as I was, the odds of my survival seemed pretty slim. Luckily, serendipity was on my side as I suddenly spotted a way out of my predicament.
Ну да, успели.
Hard to hit a moving target.
I ran ahead as if the devil himself was after me. Bullets were whizzing by my ears, but I wasn't about to roll over and die. I just kept running like there was no tomorrow. Because there wouldn't be if Clanton and his men caught up with me. As I was scurrying around those caves, I thought, what was I thinking? Going up against a gang like this.
Еще будет самый эпичный момент такой.
I just kept running, not knowing where the hell I was going. And that's when something miraculous happened. Like manna from heaven. I found the desiccated remains of what looked like an Apache warrior. The old weapon next to him supplied me with some much-needed ammunition. Bat Masterson once told me it was more important to be lucky than good, and he would know.
Ну,
And
погнали.
imagine my surprise when I found a fistful of dynamite to go along with that ammo. That stroke of good fortune evened the odds and bolstered my confidence. It was time to turn the tables. Time for the prey to become the predator. Time for the hunted to become the hunter. Time.
All right, Jesus, we get it. They were right where you wanted them.
That's right. I was done running. The old man's boys were not expecting that. No, sir.
Ой,
It was
бля.
finally time for that old man to pay for his sins.
Начнется сейчас, блядь. Ой. Ну, будем на перезарядке ловить.
I yelled out at the top of my lungs, Clanton, I'm coming for you! A little stealth might have made more sense, to be perfectly honest. Because that old fool had a Gatling gun and enough bullets to last him till kingdom come. But I knew I could not let that deter me.
Так, еще раз
Not
заканчивается.
if I was to find
Бежим.
and kill Ringo.
Бежим.
I needed to get that old man
Wow.
off that gun.
Ой. Побежали, 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 давай. Опа!
Most everyone thought it was the Ruales who had come up against him in Guadalupe Canyon, but it was just me. Apparently, one of the cowboys made it out of there alive and told Ike and Billy Clanton that it wasn't a Mexican who took their father's life that day. They just assumed it was one of the Earps, and that little misunderstanding eventually led to that legendary gunfight at the OK Corral.
Любимое оружие, винтовка. Ну, перестрелка лесопилки. Блин, уже лесопилка. О, так быстро. У меня уж все есть навыки, зачем мне выбирать? Ой, ну погнали,
A few
винтовочка.
weeks after that dust-up at the OK Corral, I was still after Johnny Ringo. I had tracked him and the cowboys to their hideout at a sawmill.
Двойник
They were loaded for bear.
Так. Вот они так. У меня получится вот этот, да? Гравированный рейнджер. Минус задача. А здесь у нас револьвер с узором. Да, пофиг, с этим побегом. Теперь.
So, what exactly did Johnny Ringo do to piss you off?
Well, him and that other bastard.
Второй
Roscoe
ублюдок.
Bob Bryant?
Yep. They both deserve to die, and I promise I'll tell you why. But first I need to tell you about the Cowboys' new boss, Curly Bill Brooks. Get ready, boys. Curly Bill took charge of the Cowboys upon the old man's demise. And after that gunfight at the OK Corral, the Clantons wanted revenge. So they murdered Morgan Earp and grievously wounded his older brother, Virgil. Wyatt and Doc went on what became known as the Vendetta Ride, hunting those outlaws down. So when I showed up, that's who they thought I was.
That's it for you!
There were killers around every corner, all wearing red bandanas. But I wasn't about to let Ringo walk away unscathed. And that's what drove me forward.
They say that Ringo was infernally fast.
I hardly saw anyone faster, boy. Certainly not Wyatt Earp. That man was all hat and no cap.
Earp wasn't much of a match for him, but Doc Holliday might have taken him.
Я не вижу свой голос, поэтому ничего не буду говорить. Я буду разговаривать.
But everybody knew that Curly shot him in the back. That was common knowledge.
Yeah, maybe so. But Ringo had nothing to do with it. He was just being loyal to a friend.
Is that what you call it? Being loyal? Well, to get to that loyal friend, I had to pass by some buzzsaws as big as a man.
Excuse me, sir. I have a question.
What's that, Dwight?
After old man Clanton died, why didn't his son take over the Cowboys?
Because Ike Clanton was dumber than a box of rocks and a yellow belly to boot. Now, where was I?
Taking down the entire cowboy gang single-handed.
Indeed I was, Jack.
Опять промахнулся 3 раза.
Though it wasn't easy, as those boys had good cover.
О, тихо, парни. Что говорю? Что говорить-то, блядь? Вот они. А, понятно, вот на засадился. Ты хоть сидеть там.
Piles of lumber and God knows what else for people to hide behind. That really was one hell of a sawmill. Quite an impressive operation.
And where was Curly Bill? Did you see him?
I'm about to get to that, Ben. Patience. I'm painting a picture here. There was this beautiful waterfall and a crystal clear stream that led to a verdant valley that was truly...
Consider your picture painted. What happened next?
Well, finally the bastards that were still alive made a last stand.
Сейчас начнется, блядь.
Curly Bill, Johnny Ringo, and his compadres took off into the lumber yard, and I followed after.
Сейчас начну с ним бегать.
Are you saying they ran? Cowardice was not in Ringo nor Curly Bill's nature.
No, sir. I never said they were running scared. They just wanted me out in the open.
Куда?
Time to dance with the devil. Make him pay for that. You working for Wyatt Earp? Did that sumbitch Earp send you to kill me? You can't hide forever, boy.
Ambrosius gave me no choice but to take his life. But Ringo was nowhere to be found.
I knew you didn't kill Ringo, because he was found dead in a different location altogether.
To this day, his killer is still unknown.
Indeed. Took me a few months before I finally tracked his ass to West Turkey Creek Canyon.
Вот так. И еще одна гола прошел. Не гола. 6:44. Почти целый час пошел. Постоянно туда. Бля, хочу сигару. О, тихо.
That's incredible, sir. I always thought that Doc Holliday was the one that killed him.
Sorry I had to ruin the legend for you, boy. But the legend ain't always true. Doc Holliday had nothing to do with the death of Johnny Ringo. I was paid a healthy bounty for Ringo and Curly Bill, and realized there was real money to be made. That's why I went after Henry Plummer.
Now, wasn't he the sheriff who augmented his income by shaking down miners and robbing gold shipments?
That's the one.
Oh, yeah, I remember him. He ran that gang of thieving outlaws called the Innocents.
So it's true that you went toe-to-toe with him?
Indeed I did, son. Indeed I did.
Indeed I did. Indeed I did. Блин, клёво. Сразу заряжать при убийстве врагов. Сейчас при убийстве врагов. Погнали.
I knew I needed resources if I was going to track down Roscoe Bob Bryant. And hunting Plummer looked like a good way to get rich quick.
Погнали направо.
As the local vigilantes exposed him as the leader of the bandits and put a generous price on his head. Plummer rallied his gang to plunder one last gold mine before making their escape. And that's where I thought I'd find him.
It makes me nervous standing so close to all these goddamn barrels of gunpowder.
Why would you be nervous? No one has the cojones to come after us.
As my late father pointed out to me more than once, God made men, but Samuel Colt made them equal.
А, это труп. Присел отдохнуть, чувак. Ех.
I knew that dynamite wasn't mine, so I decided the polite thing would be to return it. It was the biggest gold rush since Sutter's Mill in '48. Unfortunately, prospectors weren't the only ones drawn to those riches. There were thieves and killers, robbing travelers and hijacking gold shipments. Like those that ran with Plummer. Some were just regular folks I knew from town, drawn by greed and easy pickings. Charlie Crow, the blacksmith. James, who worked in the stable. Sam and Jeremiah Barber, the butcher's sons. Plummer had a lot of men on his payroll. A hell of a lot. That son of a bitch pretended to protect the public with one hand, while stealing them blind with the other. Of course, the rest were veterans of the Civil War. Stone-cold killers trained on the bloody fields of Shiloh and Antietam. He set up a defensive perimeter which I had no idea how to breach. dangerous, desperate individuals. I was outnumbered and in way over my head, but I was too damn stubborn and stupid to realize it. I thought I was some kind of hero. I finally made it past and headed on to meet my destiny. But first, I had something I needed to figure out. I had a few ideas on how to get into that mine, but once I made my decision, I knew there was no turning back. So my first thought was to enter the nearest mine portal. I saw an entrance. Made sense.
Ну, погнали, попробуем.
It was the quickest way in, but that also made it more dangerous, as there would undoubtedly be enemy pickets posted along the way. Besides, once you enter a mine like that, it's easy to get all turned around.
Право, налево,
And that
налево.
confusing maze of corridors wouldn't even be the worst of it. Some of those shafts could be as deep as hell.
Come on, you yellow bastard! That's it for you!
Не знаю, куда я стрельнул, короче, по-моему, что-то мне очень херово, нужно было в другую сторону бежать. Прям сюда.
A single stumble or misstep can easily end in a deadly plunge to oblivion.
I do not deserve
Билли, пойдем сюда.
Quick reflexes often make up for a lack of common sense. Luckily, I was never one to be easily bushwhacked. I would just need to be careful not to blow myself to kingdom come. With all that gunpowder and dynamite everywhere, the body has to know what he's shooting at.
Фак, вот это я вот ошибся. Но здесь, блядь, если стрельнешь, то по-любому погибаешь. Так что нужно аккуратно. Прям очень аккуратно стрелять.
You must be about out of bullets.
Даже, наверное, лучше так. Так, все. Фу, блять, нахуй здесь взорвешься, блять. Ну,
One wrong bullet could have turned that mine into a dad blasted tube.
О, фак. Бежим нахер.
I freely admit that my plan of attack was not just moronic, but clearly insane.
И па-па-па-па-па-па.
It's a good thing that I abandoned that ridiculous plan before I even tried it.
Нелепый план, да? Ясно, понимаю. Поэтому мы пойдем сюда.
Instead, I spotted a ladder, a way into the mine from the opposite side. It was a long way around, but that approach seemed more sensible at the time. Of course, being I had a problem with heights, that scaffolding scared the bejesus out of me.
Я бы постарался тут стоять.
Climbing
Ну,
down that
нахер.
ladder required some caution. Because even though I had a younger man's reflexes, I needed to make a leap of faith. I was determined not to give up, however. As Sheriff Plummer seemed quite the despicable character. When the vigilantes discovered what the sheriff was up to, people were outraged. That 10,000 they put on his head would go a long way to helping me find old Bob. And I had made it my mission to settle that score come hell or high water. But first, I would have to make a choice. I picked the more convenient and more dangerous route. Plummer was a mad dog killer, and the people of Nevada City deserved better.
Nevada City? Well, I thought Plummer met his maker in Bannock, Montana.
Да, блядь, ебаный динамит. Пропустил его. Ладно, моя ошибка, моя ошибка.
Well, he was the sheriff of both places at one time or another, but that's neither here nor there. The point was, taking him down would save a lot of lives, including my own.
Сейчас начнется. Это уже ебля, блядь. Генри Пламер.
Well, this day is just getting worse and worse for you, ain't it?
Henry Plummer was clearly unhinged, and I could see right away that this was going to take some doing.
I brought money for you I need some help here! Come on, boys! Take this cocksucker out! Come on, kill him!
Еще один. Вот он. Ходи. Давай.
Catch this, you son of a bitch! You are really chapping my ass! I'm going full medieval on you.
А, фак. Ну, блядь. Да, убил.
So that's how Henry Plummer died. Him and his crew were worth their weight in gold. And now, I was officially a bounty hunter.
Не знаю, он сидит тут, не тут. Или смотрит. Так. Ну, вроде смотрит. Вроде смотрит, что ли. Чем мне еще продолжать, потому что уже час прошел. Типа мы, ну, примерно где-то 1/3 игры прошли.
Their weight in gold.
Так, короче, нахуй нам так, если нужно вот так. У нас же есть такая вот фигня. Удобная, надежная. Не продолжи. Что я слышу? Ну, типа, чё? Будем или нет? Или ты будешь делать уроки? Ну ладно. Да, зачем мне доигрывать? Я уже проходил несколько раз. Мне не интересно, я для тебя играл. Спокойно. Они вылетают, я они пока еще выбегут, блять, я это... Увижу их, я еще по не промахиваюсь. Потом стреляю. А все, кого-то нужно вспомнить-то.
I
Сайлос
dodged
Игры,
death many a time, and that night in Abilene was no different.
Понятно. А что тебе нужно? А что тебе нужно? Не в каждом, но ведь в последних-то вот мы две вот убивали просто так. Ну типа там с кем дуэль, с кем не дуэль. Пойми, ну просто такая фигня.